I've got something that I want to say prophetically in the life of someone in this room. For many of you have felt as though you were on the verge of something, but you didn't know what it was. You have sensed in your spirit that God was getting ready to do something awesome in your life. You have encountered warfare and conflict and been confused why you have gone through as much as you have gone through. But the enemy knows that you are on the verge of a great blessing and a tremendous release. This is no time to give up. This is no time to draw back. This is no time to faint. For now is your salvation nearer than when you first believed. You are on the verge of a spiritual revolution, and the devil knows it. The pot shots he's been taking at you are to discourage you, because if you take another step, you are going to step into your destiny, and the power of God is going to break loose in your life. Look at somebody and say, keep moving. There is a word from God to the woman. The word from God to the woman is that you are going to produce your own deliverance. Your deliverance is going to come out of your own womb, out of your own spirit, out of your own barrenness, out of your own vacuum. He says you are going to birth a deliverer. And in order to birth it, you must be prepared to push. If then a woman does not develop within the complexity of her own spirit a tenacity and a resolve to push, she will never receive the things of God. You can be feminine, but you dare not be too passive. Because if you become too passive, the enemy will walk in and out of your life at will and take whatever he wants to take. There is a war going on. Look at your sister and say, girl, you're in a war. The prophecy says there will be enmity or conflict between the woman and the serpent. There is a tenacious ongoing conflict between those two entities. Now understand something about injustice. You don't have to fight when there has been injustice. If you continue to walk with God, I don't care what the devil tries to do to you. If it kills the flesh of you, the blood of you will cry up out of the ground. I'm so glad to know that the battle is not mine, but that it belongs to God. And if I hold my peace and let the Lord fight my battles, victory without me operating in my flesh, victory without me becoming hysterical, victory without me having a nervous breakdown shall be mine. Touch somebody and say, it shall be mine. Now the enemy knows that you want it. And anytime the enemy knows that you want something, that's where the warfare is going to be. He will try to wear you down with weariness and discouragement and disappointment and forlornment. He wants to beat you down so low that you give up on the promise. But I came to tell you that there's a prophecy hanging over top of your head. And in spite of everything you went through and everything life took you through and every mistake you made, God has still opened his mouth to bless you, and no devil in hell can stop the word from coming to pass in your life. Look at somebody and tell them, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. He's after the seed of the woman. Not just the woman, he's after her Zerah. He's after the male child that she shall produce. Now notice then in Exodus, when the Pharaoh heard that God was going to send a deliverer, he did not send out a decree against the woman. He sent out a decree against her men. He said to the midwives, when the Hebrew women go into labor, if they birth a girl child, let them live. But if she produces a Zerah, choke it to death and destroy it. Oh, Oh, but devil, you winked. You winked, and a man named Moses was born, and God sent a deliverer. Touch somebody and tell them the devil winked. See, that devil thought he had you, but every now and then God will open up a window and bless you in spite of your circumstance and in spite of your situation. Touch somebody and say, I'm still gonna get it. Even Jesus, when the time came that he was to be born, a decree was released against the male child, because the devil knew that it was going to be the zerah, the seed of the woman, and God caused the woman to bring forth her child in the wilderness, in an odd place, born in a manger. I know some of you want to produce the blessing of God in a nice, neat, comfortable place, but in order to produce what God promised you, you may have to get out of your comfort zone. Before this thing is over, you may have to kick off your shoes. You may have to hang your cute dress in the closet and go in the spiritual warfare to produce what God has promised you. Before this thing is over, you may have to put up your trophies for the best dress, finest woman in Tampa, and get down on the floor and go into labor and tell the devil he is a liar. Touch 3 women and tell them, I'm going to war. You have to let them know that you're going to war. Because if you don't prepare them, they will think that you've lost your mind. Just because you're not walking around with your nose stuck up in the air trying to be cute, they'll think that you lost your mind. But some of us didn't come here for that. We came here to receive something from the Lord. We didn't come here for a pageant. We came here to put on our tennis shoes and march into the enemy's camp and take back what he stole from us. Come on and give God a praise tonight. Look at somebody and tell them, I didn't come for that. I don't want to hear no gossip. I don't want to hear no foolishness. I don't want to get in no war with you. I don't have time to have a cat fight. I didn't come here to play games with you. That devil is trying to destroy my house. He's after my mind and my marriage. And I came here to do warfare in the name of Jesus. Somebody shabbat God in this house. Now you must understand this. Everything that you have ever gone through has been preparing you, getting you ready for what God is going to do in your life. I mean the good and the bad. The ugly things, the painful things have been the catalyst that God is going to use to usher you to the upper echelon of spirituality. If you have not endured anything, you cannot produce anything. Some of you have been wondering all of your life, why did you go through what you went through? And you've been running around with a big question mark on your head. But if you hadn't have gone through what you went through, you would have never learned how to worship God like you did. If you hadn't have gone through what you went through, you'd still be walking around with a limp wrist trying to be cute and impress people. But after you've been through hell and high water, you don't care what anybody thinks about you, because you want a blessing and you don't care how much it costs. How many radical women do we have in this house? Touch somebody and tell them, I'm not leaving till he bless me. Whatever it takes, I'm willing to do it. If I have to lay flat out in the floor, I'm willing to do it. If I have to sleep with my head on my Bible, I'm willing to do it. If I have to sweat out my makeup, I'm willing to do it. If I have to pray while other women